What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here from Datadash, and today is February 3rd of 2024. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are, because in today's sponsored review, I want to dive into a protocol that's aiming to revolutionize the user experience for the crypto and Web3 space. Today, I'm talking about none other than Root Protocol, which aims to serve as the core portal or operating system to manage all of your Web3 related activities, no matter the account or chain or network or the type of decentralized application you're trying to use. A central place where you can manage all your assets and activities across various networks in this multi-chain world that crypto has become, fixing a big bottleneck to the user experience in the crypto space and focusing heavily on being able to simplify things through a true digital identity related to all your activities. So we're going to be talking about all this as we go throughout the video, some of the core concepts and technological features that come with Root Protocol, and why personally for me this comes across as a very big deal for improving the user experience. I want to start here by talking a little bit about user experience as a topic though, because as someone who has previously founded a crypto wallet and has been using a variety of cryptocurrency applications, user experience is by and large the biggest bottleneck to further Web3 adoption. We already have some exciting applications in the crypto space like Uniswap or Compound or Aave that allow you to earn interest or swap. But the biggest bottleneck here, even beyond other types of awesome applications that have been built in the crypto space, is the need to constantly manage multiple accounts, managing multiple different wallets, let alone multiple different activities on various chains or decentralized applications. Everything is fractionalized because now we live in a world where we don't just have Ethereum. We have Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon. I could go on and list another 5 to 10 different EVM compatible chains, not to mention alternative layer ones like Solana or Aptos. So because of this, it's incredibly difficult to manage all these activities. Well, with Root Protocol, they're aiming to streamline this through a few key core concepts. One of the biggest things they're introducing is ISME, which is essentially a digital ID name that can be related to all your different accounts. So you can easily send funds to friends or family or be able on-chain to be identified by a particular ID. This allows you to essentially have an umbrella account or label for all of your different wallets and all your different activity. And I think this is really cool here, essentially where people, if they wanted to receive donations, if they wanted to send money to family or friends, or be able to interact with other people in the space, you can have your own ID system here. The great thing about it is that they have filtering mechanisms here, making sure that this is a core network where digital IDs are going to be matched to the real people who actually are going to be taking on those brands and names. So I think that ISME is really cool here. It's again one of like the many different projects out there, attempts at building some kind of digital ID system, because when you think about it, when you're interacting in Web3, whether you're using an EVM compatible chain with a 0x address structure or Solana or Bitcoin or any network you can think of, you're always going to be interacting with some hash string address. And it's okay to have this as a digital identifier on a core network when it comes to doing transaction validity. It's not very convenient to utilize when doing everyday transactions. And it's difficult to get an idea of who's who on the network. So again, I think this is really exciting to see that there's been such a range of digital IDs already claimed here on the network, and a variety of core connections to social accounts and other things that can help add validity to those digital IDs. But outside of this as well, this is just kind of scratching the surface here, because Root Protocol has a very large-scale vision of servicing, as I might have mentioned earlier, about this concept of the operating system for Web3, where essentially you can interact with all these activities here. So not only are we adding the addition of being able to have digital identity in the crypto space, finally, after all these years, being able to have something that allows you to essentially identify yourself in the space, but beyond that as well, being able to have a streamlined login to your account managed through your wallet where you can access all your activities. They also have a separate L2 rollup chain called the Root chain, and the core protocol here, which will allow you to access activities across the board, from decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, lending and borrowing protocols like Aave, as well as a whole range of other activities. So this is really exciting stuff here, where you can access with social platforms or social graphs. You can also do different types of content platforms, community DAOs, account abstraction, so you don't need to constantly reactivate your accounts through seed phrases, being able to use different types of authentication means. This is really exciting stuff, and being able to do it from all in one interface across multiple chains. This is a big breakthrough here because it allows you to essentially not only have a clear identity of who you are, but outside of that, from within that identity and platform, be able to interact with a whole range of networks. So I think this is really going to be essential here. If it is true that we are going to continue seeing that we, expand transactions or scale blockchain networks through having separate ecosystems, and we're seeing this in networks like Optimism. They have separate networks that are tailored towards certain focuses. You see it in Polkadot with parachains or these separate parts of the network focused on different types of specialized applications. The core thesis here is that we're going to scale by running multiple parallel chains. And in order to actually make that experience simple without having to constantly plug into different networks or manage multiple different wallets, we're going to need something like Root Protocol. Not to mention, if we start getting into the concept of Web 2.5, where we build applications that are more in line with Web 2, that utilize Web3 features, the list goes on here. We need something that's going to be as a central unifier towards all of these things. It dramatically simplifies the user experience and will remove that bottleneck that's been a huge stunter to the growth of adoption in the crypto space. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of different things here that Root's bringing. They're not only bringing their own wallet here, which will allow you again to streamline managing all your activities across these networks, but beyond that as well, not only is it going to give you a wallet that allows you to visualize or manage your assets, but beyond that as well, have your own digital identity, as we mentioned earlier through ISME, but also the ability here to be able to do cross-chain transactions. I think this is a very big component here. Instead of having to constantly go through different types of user experiences like a web browser and going to the particular URL and using different types of tools and different type of Web3 platforms in order to bridge and then engage on a decentralized exchange and to be able to tap into this and that and yada yada, I could go on about it. The core part here is that there's multiple steps that it usually takes to get anything done cross-chain in the Web3 space. If you want to take advantage of an arbitrage opportunity in one chain, if you want to take advantage of the best yield on another chain that is not where your funds are sitting at the moment, you're going to have to go through multiple transactions, multiple interfaces, and it's just a total pain. Root Protocol is aiming to streamline that, so it's as simple as clicking one button, making one transaction, and being able to do cross-chain activities here. So this, for me, where I think things can get really powerful. And they also have their own built SDK that allows people to be able to integrate seamlessly with the Omni protocol or the Root Omni protocol, which allows you to essentially be able to interact with its full technical capabilities. So overall for me, this is really interesting stuff. And I'm excited to see as this continues to roll out here going into the next few months, what's going to be possible with this. Because beyond being an improvement to the overall experience for users in crypto and Web3, I think this has the opportunity to be incredibly disruptive and allow for not only much further Web3 adoption towards a wider audience, but also for new applications we haven't seen yet. It not only is going to streamline the user experience interacting in multiple ecosystems with the streamlined transactions, the unique identifier, and the overall all-in-one experience that, in this case, Root offers, but beyond that as well, it's going to allow for a more similar and familiar Web 2 experience for Web 3 applications. With digital identity, this is going to allow for DeFi applications that just weren't possible before. If you could, for example, know it was me on-chain in this case, there might be lending and borrowing protocols that no longer have to be highly over-collateralized. Someone might want to facilitate a loan to me in an under-collateralized fashion, where I still put up some collateral and some proof of funds, but outside of that, I might be able to really borrow stable coins to pay off my house or be able to go out and basically take a short-term line of credit. There are so many real-world applications that have unfortunately been kind of gate-kept in the crypto space because of either poor user experience or not having a way to identify who is who and having an on-chain way to simply prove that and interact with one another. So this, for me, is again right up my alley here. Anything that streamlines user experience is exciting, but things that allow for potentially new applications to be built by setting in new standards in crypto just gets me really excited. And this also goes into other narratives beyond DeFi. It relates to GameFi as well in regards to having a digital place to store all of your different types of NFT assets and a central place to manage it. And that's why you have a lot of big VCs and funds on board like Animoca Brands that's coming on board and supporting what Root is aiming to build. So I'm really interested when I see big names like that and a lot of the teams and resources that have been applied, as well as some of the team members and advisors in the project. I think think that Root has got a really good chance to potentially disrupt the crypto space and get the right business development so the protocols and the broader space will be adopting this technology, the Root SDK, and getting it out to more and more users. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think down below in the comments. I definitely recommend you guys do your own research, and what I'm going to do is leave a few links down below in the description that you guys can check out to learn more about Root Protocol. For me personally, I'm interested in anything like this that can streamline the Web3 user experience. And I think Root Protocol's got a serious opportunity to be able to become a leading player in the Web3 space. So that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.